budget 24-25. This year, there's a very high level of expectation from every strata of society from the government. Whether it's a middleman, whether it is a daily wage earner, whether it's in agriculture, whether there is a corporate, everyone there is clamoring to expect something more, something better from the government. And there are a lot of reasons why not also. If you see the tax collection that was there in 23-24, March of 24, when the last interim budget came, was very high. It broke all the targets, surpassed all the targets in terms of corporate collection, in terms of individual collection of taxes, in terms of number of tax people who came in the tax fraternity, who joined the tax, whether it is individual or corporate was concerned. So, and even in the first quarter, you see, ending June 24, they've broken all the records, never seen in the past. It is unprecedented. One of the reasons could be there has been a complete growth in the country in various sectors, or I can say in majority of the structure. There's a very high level of spending by the government, whether it is on railways, whether it is roadways, whether it is the ports, whether it is mining, whether it's manufacturing. And the government policy of China One policy and movement of the industry back towards India or towards the developing country has been really very well. It has paid off very well. But the expectation still remains very high from the government, and is very legitimate in few of the cases. If you see that, we are very hopeful the government is going to consider. The revenue is likely to continue to grow very well. The growth rates are going to surpass everything. All the deficit, fiscal, current, all are very well within the limits actually. And the expectation is legitimate. And I'm going to share you our expectation, the number of representation that have been made to the government, and we can expect a really favorable budget from the government this time. I want to touch the basic structure of the country, which is the middleman actually. And this needs to be touched, where the pain is a maximum actually. And I can share with you like a small thing like standard deduction. It is only 50,000 and it is there from last 5 years. It has not been changed. The government really need to look into this. The government really need to look into increasing the basic exemption, because today the exchequer can afford to give this leeway to the middle age earner, where the inflation and where the cost of living has gone up high, and they need to have more extra cash flow in the pocket for the purpose of spending, for the purpose of bringing more demand in the economy. So if you see basically the exemptions, little bit of technical cosmetic changes in HRA, little bit of tax in medical insurance. And this is, if you see the medical insurance, in my opinion, will get a very good favorable treatment from the government, because every state government and complete central government is clamoring, is talking about insurance and talking about betterment of the health of the individual. And the insurance premium, which was there from 25,000 from last number of years, and I think this should definitely go up higher, because you need a healthy India, you need a healthy Indians, and this premium is there. The premium-based exemption is very low. And government actually, you see, has been talking again and again to see that the better health facilities are provided. So I can expect a very big blockbuster exemption or change coming in this insurance regime. I think one interesting thing government should check it on the interest exemption, the saving fund interest exemption, which is very minuscule of 10,000 rupees. I think government should look into this as a very small exemption and need to be looked into more into favorable note. I can say that on the corporate side, which is another important thing, we need not a blackbuster, but a little bit of correction is required. And number one, the most important in my personal opinion is to have the exemption, to give an exemption, to bring back the exemption, which ended on March 24 on the manufacturing side of concession rate of 15%. Manufacturing has been the backbone for this country. Manufacturing share used to be more than 25-27%, has gone on to 13-14% right now. And the government will have to bring the manufacturing, increasing the GDP, it gets an employment, it touches the nerve system, it touches small scale industry, it touches medium scale industry, it touches large scale industry. So, and it contributes, and we have been lagging behind in manufacturing. So this rate of which was concession of 15%, where has gone for sunset, and where the government is giving a lot of impetus or talking about manufacturing, and especially when the movement of factories from China on China One policy. I think this needs to be relooked, and my earnest request to the government is to bring it back to the statute and give us stable and a long-term view in terms of lower tax concessions concerned. And it should not be done on a yearly basis, because anything you plan, it takes years to plan and then to execute. This is one of the most important relief which I expect for the corporate is concerned. And there has been another small thing, capital gain, which I've been talking, and I think it's too much in the news also, rationalization of capital gain tax rate. There's every 5 rate, 10%, 15%, 20%, 30% rate, period of holding, quality, nature, asset. There's a lot of every possible rates are there. I think this government need to relook into this. Without any loss to the government, it should be rationalized. It should be made 2 rates, 1 or 2 rates, and it should be. So we are not expecting any concession from the government. We are only expecting rationalization for the purpose of ease in terms of maintaining records in terms of business concern. Some efficiency required at the government tax office level is on the faceless level. It has been a good experience, it has been a mixed experience, it has been a bad experience. And the bad experiences are before the government right now, and this needs to be relooked actually to streamline it, to make it a more better to administer, to make it better and responsive also, qualitatively responsive. It should not be free for random assessments being done. And in my opinion, the government should seriously start looking into them in developing a sectorial wise officers where there is a knowledge domain and where the quality of the assessment improves, which will be good from the government point of view and good from the SSC point of view. This rationalization, it seems to, is very, very important. And I think there's a lot of issues on pendency of appeals at different lower level. I think that needs to be really addressed from 3 years, 4 years, these appeals are pending. Either there should be a timeline be brought as a time barring, something which has been there in a lot of clauses. The government should look into this to bring some cut-off line somewhere. So there can be a long list actually where we expect from the government. But the crux, I can again tell you that the government concentration will be touching the individual taxation, which will touch more than 50% of the number of assets. In terms, it will be around 7 to 8 crores will be the individual SSC. And you giving them a little relief will travel to a big number, will bring a relief to that sector which needs very badly the help of the government, and exemption and extra cash flow which will stimulate the tax demand in that government. Thank you, sir.